I died because of school bullying. A deity took pity on me and offered me a second chance at life, along with a gift. Wisdom, beauty, or money? Which one do you want? Let me think, bear power. The strength of a grizzly. When I woke up in the hospital and saw my mom's tear-streaked, exhausted face, I thought I had just dreamed the whole crazy thing up. That is, until I touched my arm. My biceps were rock hard. Like actually solid. I was wrong, Lucy. I'm going to help you transfer schools right now, Mom said, choking back sobs. Don't you worry. I'll beg people if I have to. I don't care if I lose my dignity, I'm not letting you go back to that place. Nah, it's okay. I suddenly feel like school is actually pretty great. Mom froze. But didn't you say those kids were bullying you? And this time you fell out of a window. Are you saying that wasn't? No, we were just horsing around and I slipped, I said. Seeing the doubt on her face, I comforted her. Look, I'm fine, aren't I? Besides, it was just a little drama between me and those kids. I can handle it myself. Don't you have a night shift tonight? You better get going, or they'll dock your pay again. After I managed to coax my mom into leaving, I climbed out of bed to stretch. I threw a few kicks. Amazing. Even though my body was covered in black and blue bruises, I didn't feel a thing. I felt light, yet powerful. I picked up the stainless steel 4-pole next to the bed and tried to bend it. The steel bar curled right over. Thank you, God. I'm going back for revenge. 3 days later, I returned to my junior year classroom at Lincoln High. First period was math. After the bell rang, Sean casually walked over to my desk. I knew he would come, he was always the pawn for that group. Lucy, what did you tell your mom? He whispered. You fell on your own. No one pushed you, got it? If you dare say anything else, you're dead. I ignored him and kept my head down on the desk. He poked the back of my head hard with his finger. Did you hear me? When I still didn't respond, he started jabbing my head harder, over and over. I'm talking to you, Lucy. What's wrong with you? Did the fall make you retarded? Honestly, getting poked like that hurt, but I was used to it. A little pain was nothing. In the past, I would have swallowed it in silence, but I wasn't planning on enduring it anymore. I stood up abruptly, extended my right index finger, and poked him hard in the forehead. He flew backward, landed on his butt, sat there stunned for a second, and then clutched his head and started screaming. Lucy, are you psycho? My head hurts. You broke my skull. You bitch. I looked down at him with a smile. I'm just horsing around with you. Can't you take a joke? I poked his head again. He tried to dodge, but the force still made his head snap back. This time he couldn't even curse. He just clutched his forehead, glaring at me viciously while tears streamed down his face. When the pain hits a certain level, even guys cry. I said, you poked me 7 or 8 times, and I only got you back twice. How can you not handle it? Go back to your seat. Class is starting. He scrambled up, face wet with tears, muttered a just you wait, and stumbled back to his desk. The entire classroom was dead silent. I knew everyone was staring at me. My heart was racing, but my mind was filled with an indescribable excitement. Is this what revenge feels like? It feels awesome. During the lunch break, I followed the crowd to the cafeteria. I had just sat down with my tray when Tiffany walked over with her clique, Sean trailing behind her. I knew he'd go crying to Tiffany. Tiffany was a senior, a year ahead of us, and the queen bee of the group that bullied me. She kicked my tray, flipping it over. Pizza and salad scattered all over the floor. I dodged quickly, so it didn't land on me, though a few spots of grease splashed onto my shoe. Getting brave, aren't we, Lucy? She sneered. Since the fall didn't kill you, I guess it must have destroyed your brain. I think you're the one missing a brain, I said. No brains and no boobs either. Tragic. Tiffany's face changed instantly. She was pretty, with pale skin, and fancied herself the school beauty queen. She weighed less than 100 pounds soaking wet, so she was flat-chested, and she absolutely hated anyone mentioning it. I had raised my voice on purpose, so the entire cafeteria heard it. Tiffany lunged to slap me, but I was ready. I grabbed her arm, yanked her to the side, and gave her a shove. She slammed onto the hard floor, right into the mess of food she had just flipped. It covered her uniform and face. I stood up and looked at her with a grin. Tiffany, Why are you so clumsy? Aren't you worried you'll flatten that ironing board of yours even more? I heard whispers and stifled laughter rippling through the onlookers. Tiffany was always arrogant and bullied everyone. Plenty of people hated her, but were too scared to speak up. I was going to be the one to break the silence. I was going to crush her ego in public and make her the laughingstock of the whole school. I wanted her to lose everything, to make her life a living hell, just like she did to me. Tiffany's face was twisted in rage, her cheeks purple. She scrambled up and lunged at me again. I wanted to throw her down again, but I saw a teacher approaching from a distance. So I didn't dodge. I took her slap right across the face. She raised her hand to hit me again, but the teacher was already there. Break it up. Break it up. What is going on? Fighting in the cafeteria? I got my complaint in first. Mr. Clark. She flipped my tray and slapped me. I didn't even hit back. That's a lie, it was her. Tiffany argued. She insulted me first. Mr. Clark looked at Tiffany, covered in cafeteria slop, then at the bright red handprint on my face. He immediately tried to play peacemaker. All right, enough. It takes two to tango. You both apologize to each other, and we'll call it even. Don't make trouble, understand? Understood, Mr. Clark, I said loudly, putting on my best obedient student act. I'm sorry, Tiffany. I shouldn't have said you're flat as a board. Sorry. The teacher nodded, satisfied, and turned to Tiffany. You apologized too. Tiffany was so mad her nose was practically crooked, but with a teacher there, she didn't dare touch me. She insulted me first and she pushed me. It's all her fault. Why should I apologize? She argued. Mr. Clark, losing patience at being challenged in public, scowled. What grade are you in? What's your name? Since I can't handle you, I'll let your homeroom teacher handle it. Tiffany wanted to argue more, but the girl next to her pulled her back. Mr. Clark, I'm sorry. Tiffany didn't mean it, she's just really upset. Lucy threw food all over her on purpose, the girl said sweetly. Can I take her to the locker room to change? The girl speaking was Chloe, Tiffany's best friend. She was the smartest of the group, and also the cruelest. Most of the ideas for torturing me came from her. Mr. Clark just wanted the problem to go away, so he took the out. Go ahead, go ahead. Everyone else scatter. Show's over. Chloe dragged Tiffany away, and the crowd dispersed. But I knew this wasn't over. Tiffany had never been humiliated like this. She wouldn't let it slide. She would find a way to retaliate, probably wishing she could torture me 100 times over. That was fine by me. I was just getting started. After lunch, I went back to class. Everyone avoided me like I had the plague. They usually ignored me, but today was different. They were dodging me but also stealing glances at me. I heard a girl in the back whisper to her desk mate, "Did you hear?" Lucy finally snapped. She got into a fight with Tiffany at lunch. I turned around and stared at her silently until she shut her mouth in terror. Uffed. Boring. Afternoon classes flew by, and before I knew it, the final bell rang. My classmates packed their bags and sprinted out like their pants were on fire. I deliberately took my time, putting my books and notebooks into my bag one by one. By the time I zipped my backpack, the room was empty. I walked out of the school, and as soon as I stepped out the gate, I saw a few sketchy figures lurking on the corner. I knew Tiffany had connections outside of school and knew some lowlifes. I figured she'd call them in to deal with me. I pretended not to see them and walked casually into an alley near the school. It was quiet and had no cameras. I chose it on purpose. Soon enough, two guys looking like wannabe gangsters blocked my path. A third figure appeared at the mouth of the alley behind me, cutting off my escape. You Lucy? The leader, a guy with bleached blonde hair, asked. Nope, wrong person, I said. The blonde guy laughed creepily, showing a mouthful of rotted teeth. Little sister, don't lie to me. You better listen to Big Brother here, otherwise. I was getting impatient. Could you hurry it up? Those lines are from a bad soap opera. I have homework to do. The blonde guy got angry. You want to do this the hard way? Don't blame me for getting rough. I'm gonna teach you a lesson. He walked toward me aggressively. I took off my backpack and held it by the strap in one hand. It was stuffed with high school textbooks, solidly 20 pounds. Perfect weapon. My heart was pounding, partly from nerves, but mostly from excitement. Finally, time to test the power the big guy upstairs gave me. I swung the backpack and smashed it into the blonde guy's face. There was a loud thud. Before I could even process it, his body flew backward and crashed into the dumpster at the end of the alley. Oh yeah, that felt good. I looked at the other two. Don't waste my time. One by one, or both at once. The two thugs stood there, stunned. Since they didn't move, I took the initiative. I charged, swung the bag, and gave each of them a backpack facial, sending them flying into the dumpster pile with their boss. All three were laid out neatly in the trash. Perfect. But I wasn't going to let them off that easily. If the roles were reversed, would they have let me go? No. So I wasn't going to spare them. I was going to let them taste what it felt like to be bullied. Thank you, God, for this strength, I thought. I'm taking out the trash for you. I dragged the three of them out of the dumpster. The blonde guy was dazed but still had the energy to curse at me, so I kicked him in the leg. I didn't control my strength well. I used a bit too much force and snapped his shin. He started howling, but when I raised my foot for another kick, he shut up instantly. Why were you looking for me? I asked. The three thugs looked at each other. Finally, the blonde guy stammered, terrified, misunderstanding. It was a misunderstanding. We didn't know who we were messing with. Ma'am, boss, please have mercy and let us go. If you want me to let you go, it's simple. Each of you takes 100 slaps. You slap him, he slaps him, and he slaps you. Finish the set, and you can walk. They looked at each other again. Not starting? Waiting for me to do it? I asked. Soon, the sound of slapping echoed through the alley. Louder. I sat on a crate nearby, eating sunflower seeds and critiquing their form. Put some back into it. Did you skip lunch? If anyone doesn't leave a handprint on the other guy's face, I'll add 20 slaps myself. The slaps got significantly louder. Finally, the curtain fell on 300 crisp slaps. I looked at their swollen, pig-like faces and clapped my hands in satisfaction. All right, phones out, I commanded. They pitifully pulled out their phones. I scrolled through the blonde guy's phone and found Tiffany's contact, along with their chat history. Tiffany had sent a creep shot of me to him and instructed him to take good care of me, preferably taking some photos. Ugh, disgusting. I snapped a photo of the three beat-up thugs and sent it to Tiffany. Then, I snapped their phones in half. Snap, snap, snap. I broke them right in front of their eyes. They were too terrified to even care about the cost. They just stared at me, dumbfounded. All right, don't let me see you again. Scram. The three of them helped each other up and limped away as fast as they could. When I got home, the sky was getting dark. As soon as I pushed the door open, I saw Mom busy in the kitchen. Lucy, is that you? She asked. Why are you so late? Dinner's getting cold. I was discussing a problem with a classmate, lost track of time, I said. Mom smiled. Oh, you kids. Come eat. I sat at the small table, watching Mom rush to bring out the warm dishes. Meatloaf, mashed potatoes, and green beans. It wasn't a fancy feast, but it was my favorite comfort food. My eyes suddenly stung, and tears started rolling down my face. What's wrong, honey? Mom asked, panicked. Why are you crying? Nothing, I said. Just got some pepper in my eye. Eat slowly. Mom sighed. Take your time. There's more in the pan if you want it. I have to go to my shift. I nodded. Okay. Be careful on the road. Watching her leave, I made a vow. Since God gave me a second life, I was going to cherish it. I wouldn't just solve the bullying problem, I was going to live a life worth living. After dinner, I sat at my desk and opened my textbooks. Midterms were a week away, and I had to catch up on the work I missed while in the hospital. Luckily, my grades had always been good, so catching up wasn't too hard. I always knew how important education was. We were poor, and I knew school was the only way to change my fate. I spent every spare second studying. Because of that, I never really had close friends, just acquaintances. It was the same in high school. I used to naively think they picked on me because I had no friends. I wondered so many times I never provoked them, so why me? Was it because I was a loner? Because I didn't suck up to teachers? Because I was poor, had no connections, and my parents were divorced? Or just because I was ugly? What did I do wrong? No. None of that. I finally understood. They didn't pick me because I did something wrong. They were the ones who were wrong. And now it was time for them to pay the price. The next day, I got to school early. The whole day was strangely quiet, no one messed with me. I decided to take the initiative. After school, I cornered Sean. "Sean, I have a question for you," I said. Sean jumped, looking left and right for backup. But just like no one helped me when they bullied me, no one was coming to help him now. What do you want?" he asked, panicking. "Why are you so scared?" "I don't eat people." He looked even more terrified. I asked, "Where's Tiffany? Did she skip today?" "Yes," Sean stammered. "She said she wasn't feeling well." "Really?" I asked seriously. Sean shuddered under my gaze. "I heard Tiffany offended some gangsters downtown," Sean whispered. "She hasn't dared to leave her house lately. Apparently she owes them a lot of money. She even borrowed $300 from me." I couldn't help but smile. Just as I thought. Those 3 thugs took a beating from me, so naturally, they wouldn't let Tiffany off the hook. At the very least, they were going to bleed her wallet dry. "What about Chloe?" I asked. "Did Tiffany borrow from her too?" "San Nadith." "Yeah, I heard she borrowed $500. I knew Chloe's family was about as well off as mine, which is to say broke. Lending that much to Tiffany meant Chloe was going to have a hard time. Tiffany called it borrowing, but it was robbery. She'd never pay it back. Maybe this would drive a wedge between Tiffany and Chloe. I turned to Sean. "We're done. You can go." Relieved, Sean quickly added, "Please don't tell anyone I told you. Especially not that it was me, or I'm dead meat." I nodded. He walked a few steps, then stopped and looked back hesitantly. "Lucy, before, I didn't actually want to bully you. Tiffany and the others forced me. You know how Tiffany is. If I didn't listen to her, she would have come after me." I looked at him silently. I knew Sean wasn't inherently evil, he was just cowardly, stupid, and a follower. "Lucy, I'm sorry," Sean whispered. I didn't accept his apology. He said sorry, but I knew if Tiffany told him to jump tomorrow, he'd ask how high. I said, "Sean, if you really think you did something wrong, you should change. Cut ties with Tiffany. Otherwise, no matter how much you apologize, you're just lying to yourself. Think about it." I left him there in deep thought and walked away. Sean's apology gave me an idea. Over the next few days, while studying hard, I spent my afternoons finding every classmate who had ever followed Tiffany to bully me. I had a little heart-to-heart with each of them. I didn't hurt them, I just demonstrated that I had power now, that I wouldn't be a punching bag anymore. I pointed out that Tiffany couldn't protect them, and even if she came back, they would eventually be alone. Most of them apologized profusely and promised to cut ties with Tiffany. A couple of tough guys didn't believe me and tried to talk trash. For them, I provided a small demonstration of strength. I snapped their phones in half. I wasn't afraid of them telling teachers or parents. First, our chats happened in camera-free alleys. Second, phones were technically banned at Lincoln High. The administration's stance was that phones wasted time. So really, I was doing them a favor. Third, who would believe a 100-pound girl snapped a smartphone in half with her bare hands? A week flew by, and midterms arrived. I performed exceptionally well. Maybe it was my new mindset, or maybe it was the lack of harassment, but I could finally focus. I ended up ranked 5th in my class and top 50 in the entire grade. When the scores came out, not only did the students look at me differently, but even the teachers spoke to me more gently. I realized this was what my high school life should have been. It had been stolen by Tiffany and her crew. I was more determined than ever to take back the life that belonged to me. Shortly after midterms, I saw Tiffany on campus again. It seemed she had resolved the issue with the thugs, probably thanks to her dad, a wealthy local businessman with a shady reputation. However, she quickly realized the school wasn't the same as when she left. Her lackeys, who used to obey her every command, were now cold and distant, actively avoiding her. The campus queen was now a social pariah. I'm sure it tasted bitter. Tiffany, now isolated, only had Chloe, her strategist, left by her side. But I knew she wouldn't learn her lesson or reflect on herself. Her life had been smooth sailing until now she was used to winning. She wouldn't accept failure. She would come for me again. She and Chloe wouldn't let me go. Let them come. I was ready. That afternoon, Mr. Clark called me to the faculty office. Unsurprisingly, Tiffany and Chloe were there, along with a middle-aged woman, Ms. Jones, who was Tiffany's homeroom teacher. A few other teachers were working at their desks in the quiet room. I smiled and said hi to Tiffany. She glared daggers at me. Mr. Clark looked at me blankly, then turned to Tiffany. Go ahead. Tiffany started her story. She claimed she wore a designer necklace to school that morning, put it in her desk, and when she came back from lunch, it was gone. Chloe added that she had seen me near Tiffany's desk during the lunch break. I laughed out loud. Tiffany, school rules ban jewelry. Why would you bring such an expensive necklace to school? Tiffany puffed up angry. Don't change the subject. Lucy, tell us, did you steal my necklace? I stayed calm. The two teachers didn't seem eager to get involved, which made Tiffany anxious. Ms. Jones, my mom bought that necklace in Europe. It's really expensive. She cried. Call the police then, I said. Hearing police, both teachers frowned. They absolutely did not want a scandal involving cops. Nonsense. Ms. Jones snapped. Actually, we don't need the police, Chloe interjected quickly. Lucy, if you want to prove your innocence, bring your backpack here and let us search it. Right. Tiffany said. Lucy, if you say you didn't steal it, let us search your bag. I looked at her with a smile. What if I hid it somewhere else? Searching my bag doesn't prove I didn't steal it. Besides, who hides stolen goods in their own backpack? Right. Tiffany didn't know how to refute that, so she just gritted her teeth. Are you letting us search or not? If you don't, you're guilty. Why search only my bag when there are so many people? I asked. Because Chloe saw you going through my desk. Tiffany blurted out. That was the line I was waiting for. That's strange, I said. Chloe, if you saw me going through Tiffany's desk, why didn't you stop me? Chloe's expression darkened, but she stayed calm. I just saw you standing near her desk. I didn't realize you were rummaging through it at the time. During lunch, everyone goes to the cafeteria. Why didn't you go eat? I asked. I wasn't feeling well, so I rested in the classroom, Chloe replied smoothly. I smiled. So you had the opportunity to steal it too? Maybe you stole it and framed me? Chloe remained composed. Lucy, if you didn't steal it, why won't you let us see your bag? Just because you say so? What if it's not in there? Are you going to strip search me next? I think we should call the police. Let them handle it fairly. Chloe bit her lip and went silent. Mr. Clark finally spoke up. Lucy, bring your bag here. If it's not in there, this ends now. If you're innocent, you have nothing to fear. I pretended to think about it. Mr. Clark, I'll let you search. But searching only me isn't fair. Since Chloe was in the classroom too, her bag should be searched as well. Before Chloe could speak, Tiffany jumped in. Fine. Search it. Soon both our backpacks were on the desk. I unzipped mine and dumped everything onto the floor. Search away. The teachers looked carefully, but they had to admit the necklace wasn't there. Tiffany was struggling. Impossible. It has to be here. Check Chloe's bag, I suggested. By now Chloe looked sick. She probably guessed what was coming. The teacher opened Chloe's bag. There, shining brightly in the outermost pocket, was the necklace. I feigned shock. Oh wow. Talk about the thief crying, stop thief. The teachers' faces turned grim, especially Ms. Jones, who looked like she had swallowed a lemon. Chloe chewed her lip in silence, while Tiffany looked genuinely shocked. How? Tiffany muttered. Lucy, you did this. It was you. I cut her off. Mr. Clark, if we're done here, I'm going back to class. He nodded. I turned and walked out slowly. As I left, I heard Mr. Clark ask Ms. Jones, so, how do you want to handle this? Back in the classroom, I flashed a subtle okay sign to Sean. Yes, I knew about their plan. They tried to make Sean plant the necklace in my bag, but after some serious thought, Sean told me everything. Over the past week, many others who were sick of Tiffany and Chloe had quietly reached out to help me. With Sean's help, I managed to plant the necklace in Chloe's bag instead. Checkmate. Chloe's luck had run out. Soon, I heard both their parents were called in. Tiffany's parents just scolded her a bit, but Chloe wasn't so lucky. Her parents were factory workers who didn't listen to explanations. They beat her right there in the office. If the teachers hadn't pulled them off, they might have broken her bones. Through it all, Tiffany didn't say a word to defend her. Sean told me Tiffany even blamed Chloe for coming up with a stupid plan that got them caught. After that, Tiffany and Chloe officially broke up. Surprisingly, not long after, Chloe approached me. She had bruises on her face. She was small and thin, the kind of person who disappears in a crowd. Without Tiffany, no one looked at her twice. I hated her eyes, calm, cold, and calculating. "What do you want?" I asked. "Lucy, I know you hate Tiffany. I hate her too. If we team up, we can send her to hell." I thought for a moment. "I don't trust you." She got agitated. "Why not? You think I liked following her? Do you know what she did to me? You have no idea how awful she is to the people closest to her. I've hated her for years. I want to tear her apart." "I believe you hate her," I said calmly. "And I believe you have a way to take her down. What I don't trust is your character. So no deal." Chloe stared at me coldly for a long time, scoffed and walked away. Honestly, for a split second, I was tempted. I really wanted to see Tiffany destroyed by her most trusted ally. But I held back. If Tiffany was a man-eating tiger, Chloe was a venomous snake. Sleeping with a snake guarantees a bite eventually. Another week passed, and I heard Chloe and Tiffany had made up. They were closer than ever, inseparable. By then, I didn't care much. My life had a new focus: academics. My grades were climbing every day. In the latest monthly exam, I hit second in the class and top 20 in the grade. My relationship with my classmates improved, and my mindset shifted. I wasn't obsessed with revenge anymore. I just wanted to live my life, study hard, get into a top university, and change my destiny. Then the news broke. Tiffany's father was reported for tax evasion and racketeering. He was arrested. Their assets were seized, and her mother took whatever cash was left and ran off with a boyfriend. Overnight, Tiffany went from royalty to poverty. Unable to handle the shame, she dropped out. Karma, I suppose. I didn't expect to see her again. On my way home from school, she rushed out from a corner, clutching a sharp knife, blocking my path. "It's all your fault," she screamed hysterically. "Lucy, this is all on you. You ruined me. If it wasn't for you, if it wasn't for you." She charged at me with the knife. I sidestepped easily. I raised my hand and slapped her, sending her crashing to the ground. I snatched the knife from her hand and bent the blade into a U shape with a flex of my wrist. The hatred in Tiffany's eyes turned to pure terror. "Tiffany, you ended up here because of your own choices. What does it have to do with me?" She glared at me. "Not you? You dare say you didn't report my dad?" I laughed. "I don't even know your dad. How could I report him?" "Use your brain, Tiffany. Who did you tell about your dad's shady business? Who had access to the evidence?" "It was someone close to you." Tiffany went silent, her gears turning. After a moment, she looked up. "Chloe? Impossible." Then she shook her head. "I was so good to her. She wouldn't betray me. Don't try to drive a wedge between us." I pulled out my phone, found the recording I had secretly made during my conversation with Chloe, and hit play. Chloe's voice rang out clearly. "You think I liked following her? Do you know what she did to me? You have no idea how awful she is. I've hated her for years. I want to tear her apart." I watched the expressions cross Tiffany's face. Shock, then rage, and finally, extreme hatred. "Every debt has a debtor," I said. "Now you know who really ruined you." Lo-E, she hissed, saying the name one syllable at a time. She scrambled up from the ground and walked away like a zombie. A few days later, I heard Chloe had been stabbed on her way home and was in the hospital. She survived, but she was left permanently disabled and had to drop out of school. The school organized a fundraiser for her. I didn't donate a cent. The stabber, of course, was Tiffany. She was arrested quickly. Since she was 18, she was tried as an adult and sent to prison. And with that, everyone who had bullied me received their retribution. I focused on my studies and eventually got into my dream university. The big guy upstairs seemed to forget to take his gift back, so my strength remained inhumanly powerful. Not wanting to waste this gift, I joined the police force after graduation, using my strength to fight crime. I like to think the big guy is pretty happy about that.